All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. I am incredibly glad you're here today because, honestly, we are stepping into a genuine puzzle. Today, we're breaking down the timeline of a completely baffling human mystery. We're looking at the case of David. Now, David was a highly successful businessman. He was a guy who, by all accounts, had a perfectly normal, thriving, structured life. But then, literally in the blink of an eye, his sudden vanishing shocked absolutely everyone. So I want you to put on your detective hats for this one. We're going to look directly at the source facts, the timeline, and the physical evidence left behind, and I want you to try and solve this right alongside me.
Okay, let's dive into this. 6 p.m. Honestly, it's probably the most ordinary, mundane time of the entire day, right? It's a time millions of us are packing up our bags, shutting down our laptops, and heading out the door to go home, grab some dinner, and just relax. And for David, this was the exact moment he left his office. We always kind of expect the beginning of a dark mystery to start, in the shadows, or super late at night in some dangerous part of town. But the really eerie reality of this case is that it started right here, at the end of a totally standard workday. A perfectly normal start to an evening where he was about to vanish completely off the face of the earth.
Section 1. The 6 p.m. disappearance.
In cold cases like this, the devil is literally in the chronological details. At exactly 6 p.m., security cameras captured David leaving his work. And crucially, the footage shows he is entirely alone. Nobody's following him, nobody's forcing him out the door. He's just a successful guy with absolutely no known enemies. But overnight, the timeline just goes completely dark. He vanishes. Fast forward to the very next morning, and investigators make this startling discovery. Just hours after he walked out of that office, his car is found, but it's not parked in his driveway. It's parked, totally abandoned, near a quiet lake. It's this massive juxtaposition. You've got this highly structured, wealthy life abruptly ending with a lonely car just sitting by a body of water.
Now we move on to Section 2, the abandoned car paradox.
Now, what's really interesting here is, put yourself right in the investigator's shoes as they walk up to this abandoned vehicle by the lake. What would you expect to find? A mess? A struggle? Well, here is exactly what was inside. His mobile phone? Sitting right there. His wallet? Still inside. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, appeared to be stolen. This physical evidence completely flips the narrative. If you're a detective, an abandoned car usually points straight to a carjacking or a robbery gone wrong, but thieves don't just leave a wealthy man's wallet and smartphone chilling on the front seat. Because all of his valuables were completely untouched, police initially had to lean toward a simple, tragic accident rather than foul play. Maybe he went for a walk by the water and just fell in. But as you'll see, the evidence refuses to stay that simple.
To confirm that accident theory, investigators turned where we all would, the digital footprint, but they found a pretty stark reality. No digital activity whatsoever. Checking his bank records revealed 0 transactions, 0 calls made. He was just gone. Think about it. In our modern world, it is incredibly difficult to just stop creating data. Every single time you buy a coffee, use a toll road, or send a quick text, you're leaving a trace. But David left a complete digital vacuum. This creates a really chilling paradox. All of his physical items were left behind, yet his digital ghost disappeared at the exact same moment.
Let's move to Section 3, the secret meeting note.
Let's see how this builds, because back at his office, investigators stumbled upon a major piece of the puzzle that shifted the whole investigation, a handwritten note. And scribbled on that paper was a mention of a secret meeting, scheduled for that very night, literally the night he vanished. I want you to pause and really think about this for a second. What would you deduce from that? I mean, if you're planning a routine business dinner, you pop it in your digital calendar, right? You send a calendar invite. But a handwritten note about a secret meeting? That implies something totally off the books. It implies he knew he was stepping out of his normal, safe routine right after 6 p.m.
And this brings us to a classic investigative showdown. It's the human lie versus the objective truth. When the police actually tracked down the person David was supposedly meeting, that person offered a rock-solid alibi, flat out denying the whole thing. They claimed they never arranged any meeting with the millionaire. But the surveillance footage proved otherwise. The cameras caught the absolute truth. It's such a fascinating look at the unreliable witness motif. The person just flat out lied. And in a missing person case, a lie about a secret meeting, that is the loudest alarm bell possible.
And this brilliantly illustrates our final phase, Section 4, escape or foul play.
Once that lie was exposed, the entire facade of David's normal life crumbled. Millions. That is what the investigation suddenly uncovered. Hidden business dealings worth absolutely millions. Remember earlier when I said David had no known enemies? Well, actually, scratch that. It turns out you don't keep massive secret wealth hidden in the shadows without making a few dangerous connections. This massive discovery links the whole shebang together. The lies from his contact, the secret handwritten note, and that perfectly staged, abandoned car with the wallet still inside. The money is always, always the key.
So, the crucial point is, months later, the underlying web of this mystery was actually solved. The records show the bizarre reality of his hidden life defied all initial expectations. It wasn't some simple, tragic accident by the lake. It wasn't a standard robbery. It was this incredibly complex web tied directly to those hidden millions and that 6 p.m. secret meeting. But knowing exactly why he vanished doesn't definitively tell us how it all ended.
Which leaves us hanging on the ultimate question. Based entirely on the source evidence we've pieced together today, the untouched wallet, the sudden digital silence, the denied meeting, and the hidden millions, what do you think? Was David the victim of a sinister disappearance, or was this a meticulously planned escape from the very beginning? I want you to analyze the clues and drop your theory in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your curiosity sharp, and I will see you in the next one.